Waldo Politics is now live. Streaming Just Chatting. Secretary of War Crimes gives big speech. Where's Waldo? Oh hi KBP. Oh hi Waldo. Sorry, no kick stream tonight. It is having technical difficulties. Good. I like ads after all. You have to support Jeff Bezos on Twitch.
Oh, hi. How you doing? My name is Waldo, and I'm here to feel the politics with you. How is everybody doing tonight? I am doing great, thank you. KBP, yeah, I'm sorry. The kick thing, it's bouncing. Like I start the kick stream, and then after about 60 seconds, it disconnects, and then it reconnects, and then it disconnects after 60 seconds, and then it reconnects. And then if, and I know this isn't happening to anyone, but if you were like receiving an email every time my stream went live, you would get like 60 of them, you know, every hour. And while that might be good advertisement, I don't think it's the kind of advertising you want. So yeah, no kick stream tonight. Sorry, no kick chat. Usually I have kick chat up, though no one uses it except for KBP because he has a legitimate beef with Jeff Bezos. And you can use that, and there's no ads over there, but also you have to go into kick chat, which is gross. And then the crazies come in from there, and so I get some of my crazier comments from there, because anybody on Kick is there because they got kicked off of Twitch. They got booted from Twitch. They spit so much hate, so much anger, so much unhappiness that they've been booted off and banned from Twitch. So you get the crazies over on Kick, and that's why I liked it. That's why I did it, is so that I get a little crazy, a little spice, you know, with in the comments. You know, you want a little spice in there. It makes the meal all that much better. So that's unfortunately not going to happen tonight. We're going to have to spice up Twitch chat, I suppose, or YouTube chat, but it doesn't talk with a robot. So, hi, how's it going? It is almost dark out there, and I could not be happier. I love the autumn and the winter when the sun goes down at 3 o'clock.
If you just post your stream information on Truth Social.
I know, right? I should just post it there and get some crazies, but I don't know if I'm willing to go that far. I want a little spice, not an entire stew of insane lunatics. And there's only one poster on Truth Social anyway. Name a second poster on Truth Social. I dare you. You can't, because there's only one poster there. Nobody else even bothers. It's like his own specific personal app. It's just the Donnie app. Anything he wants the people to hear, he just pops out. There's nothing else going on that site. There's nothing else to be seen. There's no one else to look at. There's no one else to follow. Why bother? I think when you create an account, it automatically follows him anyway. So there's that. But yeah, it's almost dark. I'm so happy. I love the winter. I love the dark months. You know, I love it when the sun goes down at 3 p.m. It's fantastic, and it's good for me because I hate the sun. Grotesque Daystar, filthy thing, will give you cancer. You don't want to go out there. You don't want to go out there with the sun. Yeah, yuck. The nighttime, that's where it's at. Vampires hang out in the night. So that's what I like. That's what I like to do. Anywho, what the hell am I doing? I'm rambling. I'm supposed to be watching a long-ass meeting. Yeah, exactly. You know what's up. So yeah, what are we going to do? Today is Wednesday, so I've got a whole bunch of links to go through and look at and talk about. But today there's only one big thing, and it is the Secretary of War Crimes has given a big speech, his first big old speech, even though he was picked up 8-9 months ago. He's really, he took a look, the Secretary of War Crimes, and he has changed the name. He used to be Secretary of Defense, but now he's the Secretary of War Crimes, and he's going to tell all the generals and all that fun stuff what to do and how to do it. So let's just go ahead and get started with that. It is a pretty long thing, and I have a whole bunch of ranting anger to
God.
stop.
Are we doing the Trump part 2?
No, we're not doing the Trump part 2. No. We're only going to watch a little bit of that because it's the same Trump speech you've heard before. None of it is new. None of it is anything of substance. We're only going to watch the one clip where he tells the crowd, he tells all those generals that they are going to go to war against American people. We'll watch that one little clip. And then the rest, and then we'll talk about it. So let's start over here. Let's go over here. Let's get the link up. Let's click the button. We click the button. Where are you button? Window capture. Drop down. Bam. There he is. The Secretary of War Crimes. Let's hear what he has to say. All right, let's get him started. Bam.
Well, Mr. Chairman, the Joint Chiefs, generals, admirals, commanders, officers.
You're right. It is scary, except for the boring. It is boring, except for the scary parts.
And every member.
I'm going to put him on 1.25 speed so we can go through it a little bit quicker.
Good morning and welcome to the War Department. Because the era of the Department of Defense is over.
Pussies.
You see, the motto of my first platoon was those who long for peace must prepare for war.
I love that he totally juked the cameraman. The cameraman did not expect him to keep walking. So we see the cameraman like, he just woke the cameraman up like, what the fuck?
See, the motto of my first platoon
He's over there.
was those who long for peace must prepare for war. This is, of course, not a new idea. This crowd knows that. The origin dates to the 4th century Rome and has been repeated ever since, including by our first commander-in-chief, George Washington, the first leader of the War Department. It captures a simple yet profound truth. To ensure peace, we must prepare for war.
Oh, it's
From
profound.
this moment forward, the only mission of the newly restored Department of War is this: warfighting, preparing for war and preparing to win, unrelenting and uncompromising in that pursuit. Not because we want war, no one here wants war, but it's because we love peace.
He totally wants war. He wants war so bad.
They deserve peace, and they rightfully expect us to deliver it.
Deserve peace.
Our number one job, of course, is to
deserve
peace so that we can
peace.
prevent war in the first place. The president talks about it all the time. It's called peace through strength. And as history teaches us, the only people who actually deserve peace are those who are willing to wage war to defend it.
Deserve peace is a disgusting sentence. I hate that sentence. I hate the man telling it to you. Conservatives are obsessed with punishment, and with that comes the word deserve. Poor people do not deserve handouts. Racial minorities do not deserve.
Ozzy said it best. War pigs.
Yeah, exactly. Minorities do not deserve special consideration in hiring. Women do not deserve equal pay. Immigrants do not deserve civil rights. White men do, however, deserve to be on top of every major institution. They've earned it with all their merit. Obviously, they're just dripping with merit. And if you ever see a lady or a black person in charge or as the boss, they played the race or the gender card to get there. Obviously, they can't possibly have deserved the position more than a qualified white man. I hate the word deserve. It is a feeling, isn't it? And we're starting right off the bat. Feelings. Pete will decide who deserves privileges and who deserves punishment. He will decide based on his feelings. And then tell you it's a fact.
That's why pacifism is so naive and dangerous. It ignores human nature and it ignores human history. Either you protect your people and your sovereignty, or you will be subservient to something or someone. It's a truth as old as time.
He's just describing tribalism.
And since waging war is so costly in blood and treasure, we owe our republic a military...
I promise not to stop too often, but anybody who uses the words blood and treasure is probably a fascist. It's just no way around it.
...that will win any war we choose, or any war that is thrust
I
across.
made it in time to be horrified at our
enemies
push into a
choose
fascist
foolishly
state.
Oh, good. Welcome to the party. Glad you could make it.
To challenge us, they will be crushed by the violence, precision, and ferocity of the War Department. In other words,
It sounds like he's celebrating political violence. Doesn't it sound like he's celebrating all the political violence? That's been all the rage over the past few weeks. Political violence this, political violence that. All violence is political because all violence is based off of feelings. Nobody dispassionately does violence. That's insane. All wars are political violence. All police officers, when they do violence, and most of the time they don't, but when they do, it's political violence. All of them. Even if it's to stop an actual, literal, legitimate crime, they do violence. Politically. All violence is political, including actions by our state. Everything our state does violently is political violence. This man is a politician. He was chosen by a politician and confirmed by politicians. Every bit of violence this man talks about is political violence. But he won't admit to that. He won't tell you that. He will tell you that it's different somehow when he does it.
in other words, to our enemies, F-A-F-O.
Excellent meme, sir.
If necessary, our troops
Congratulations.
can translate that for you. Another way to put it is peace through strength, brought to you by the warrior ethos. And we are restoring both. As President Trump has said, and he's right, we have the strongest, most powerful, most lethal, and most prepared military on the planet. That
Lethal.
is true, full stop.
He wants to murder
Nobody can touch
everybody.
us. It's not even close. This is true largely because of the historic investments that he made in his first term, and we will continue in this term. But it's also true because of the leaders in this room and the incredible troops that you all lead.
Then why are you trying to change everything? Boss, you just told us how great and amazing and perfect the military is. Now, for the next hour, he's going to rail about all the things he's going to change. What? They're amazing. They're the best. They're the greatest. There's nobody like them. No one can even touch us. We're miles ahead of everybody else. And here's all the shit I'm going to change. Seems like it's going pretty well, boss. Seems like it's going quite well before you got here. Before you got here, it was fine. And now you're telling us what you're going to do differently. I don't get it.
But the world, and as the chairman mentioned, our enemies get a vote. You feel it, I feel it. This is a moment of urgency, mounting urgency. Enemies gather, threats grow.
Action for action's sake.
There is no time for games. We must
Where have I heard
be
that
prepared.
before?
If we're going to prevent and avoid war, we must prepare now. We are the strength part of peace through strength. And either we're ready to win or we are not.
Only a Sith deals in
This urgent moment,
absolutes.
of
What
course,
are you talking
requires more
about?
troops, more munitions, more drones, more Patriots, more submarines, more B-21 bombers. It requires more innovation, more AI in everything and ahead of the curve. More cyber effects, more counter-UAS, more space, more speed. America is the strongest, but we need to get stronger and quickly.
More for the military-industrial complex. More money for Raytheon. More money for Boeing. More bombs. More private-public partnerships. More money.
The time is now, and the cause is urgent. The moment requires restoring and refocusing our defense industrial base, our shipbuilding industry, and onshoring all critical components.
There you go.
It requires, as President Trump has done,
Companies.
getting our allies and partners to step up.
Giving the money.
The burden. America cannot do everything. The free world requires allies with real hard power, real military leadership, and real military capabilities. The War Department is tackling and prioritizing all of these things.
The dissonance
And I'll be giving a
required to
speech
believe
next
we
month
have the
that'll
best,
showcase
most
the speed,
effective
innovation,
military in the
and
world.
generational
But also
acquisition
it's
reforms we are
hopelessly weak
undertaking
because it's
urgently.
woke.
Yeah, that's that. The enemy is both strong and weak at the same time, and he's doing that to himself.
How many of these generals are just like fuck Fuick?
At least a few, I think.
Likewise, the nature of the threats we face in our hemisphere and in deterring China is another speech for another day.
Oh, good.
Coming soon.
Oh,
this
no.
speech today, as I drink my coffee,
Irish coffee, probably.
this speech today is about people, and it's about culture. The topic today is about the nature of ourselves.
He's doing a culture war, you guys. God damn it. He's here to fight against the woke.
Because no plan, no program, no
Black
reform, no
Rifle
formation
Coffee.
will ultimately succeed unless we have the right people
With a shot of whiskey, yeah.
and the right culture at the War Department. If I've learned one core lesson in my 8 months in this job, it's that personnel is policy.
That's important. We'll come back to that
Personnel is
later.
policy.
I'll rant about
The
that
best way
later.
to take care of troops is to give them good leaders committed to the warfighting culture of the department. Not perfect leaders, good leaders. Competent, qualified, professional, agile, aggressive, innovative, risk-taking, apolitical,
White,
faithful
straight,
to their oath and to the
Christian.
Constitution. Eugene Sledge, in his World War II memoir, wrote, quote, "War is brutish, inglorious, and a terrible waste. Combat leaves an indelible mark on those who are forced to endure it. The only redeeming factors are my comrades' incredible bravery and their devotion to each other. In combat, there are thousands of variables, as I learned in Iraq and Afghanistan, and as so many of you did in so many more places. Leaders can only control about 3 of them. You control how well you're trained, mostly how well you're equipped, and the last variable is how well
Crucifixes for everyone.
you lead. After that,
Absolutely. That'll keep you
our
safe.
warfighters are entitled to
Everybody
be led
knows
by
that.
the best and most capable leaders. That is who we need you all to be. Even then, in combat, even if you do everything right, you may still lose people because the enemy always gets a vote. We have a sacred duty to ensure that our warriors are led by the most capable and qualified combat leaders. This
The enemy gets a vote? Sounds like a fucking woke-ass system to me.
is one thing you and I can control,
Whoa.
and we owe it to the force to deliver it. For too long, we have simply not done that. The military has been forced
Our
by
enemies
foolish and
get a
reckless
vote.
politicians to focus on
Woke.
the wrong things.
Exactly.
In many ways, this speech is about fixing decades of decay. Some of it obvious.
Decay.
That's some Civil
Or
War
as the
talk.
chairman has put it, we are clearing out the debris,
The debris.
removing the distractions.
The distractions. The degeneracy, maybe you would say. The degeneracy.
Clearing the way for leaders to be leaders. You might say we're ending the war on warriors. I heard someone wrote a book about that.
Oh, he was hoping for a joke there. God, that's cringy. That was his book. You shouldn't know that, but he did. He wrote a book called The War on Warriors, and so we're ending that. Nobody laughed. Nobody clapped. Nobody read his book because he's a fucking cringe lord.
For too long, we've promoted too many uniformed leaders for the wrong reasons.
Drone assaults only.
Based on their race,
No,
Based on gender
KBP, I
quotas.
wish.
based on historic so-called firsts.
It's
We pretended that combat arms and non-combat
a
arms
spoiler. He doesn't want drone assaults only. He wants people running on foot at the enemy with bayonets and guns.
are the same thing.
Public
We've weeded
officials
out
aren't
so-called
allowed to
toxic
promote their
leaders under the
private
guise of
businesses.
double-blind psychology assessments, promoting risk-averse, go-along-to-get-along conformists.
He renamed them all drone.
You name it.
Okay,
The department did.
that makes sense, KBP.
Foolish and reckless political leaders set the wrong compass heading, and we lost our way. We became the woke department.
Wrong compass heading. You just called us the most powerful military ever. You can't have it both ways. If the compass heading led us to the most powerful and greatest military in the universe, you can't say that it's the woke department and the whole thing is shambling and the whole thing is falling apart.
Crucifixes.
That will keep you very safe. The crucifix is magic. Everybody knows this. And why are you fucking it up? If it's true that they are the best, why are you fucking it up now? If it's true that the degeneracy has been going on for 20 years, then they're not the best, and it doesn't make any sense, boss. You can't have both.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Right now, I'm looking out at a sea of Americans who made a choice when they were young men and young women to do something most Americans will not, to serve something greater than yourself, to fight for God and country, for freedom and the Constitution. You made a choice to serve when others did not, and I commend you. You are truly the best of America. But this does not mean, and this goes for all of us, that our path to this auditorium on this day was a straight line, or that the conditions of the formations we lead are where we want them to be. You love your country, and we love this uniform, which is why we must do better. We just have to be honest. We have to say with our mouths what we see with our eyes.
Oh, okay. I love this. This is great. This is some brutal honesty. Say with my mouth what I see with my eyes. You're a fascist. Mr. Pete Hegseth, you are a fascist.
I see a fascist.
Yeah, did I do it right? Did we win? Did we do it, guys?
To just tell it like it is in plain English.
You're a fascist. Telling it like it is. Not beating around the bush.
To point out the obvious things.
You're a fascist.
In front of us.
Yes.
That's what leaders must do.
Oh, man.
Cannot go
I'm a leader, you
without
guys.
directly addressing the plank in our own eye.
The plank in our own eye. You are a fascist. You are interested in blood and soil policies.
Look, I missed the fascist part, sorry. I'm tired.
Zayla, I appreciate you coming in. We're watching a fascist give a nice fascist speech.
Without addressing the problems in our own commands and in our own formations. This administration has done a great deal from day one to remove the social justice, politically correct, and toxic ideological garbage that had infected our department.
No. See, the thing about politically correct that a lot of people don't appreciate is that it's correct. Has the word correct right there in the damn word. It's correct. Everything is political. I've said it 1,000 times. So if everything is political, putting the word political in front of correct doesn't make it any worse. This is a political microphone. This is a political cup because it has a Starbucks logo on it. See? So that's political. This is political Mega Man. Okay, right here. See him? Political Mega Man. And I'm Waldo Politics. You see? So if everything is political, then the people he's complaining about are the correct people. And he wants you to be incorrect. That's all there is to it. That's why they had to change the name to woke. That is why the conservatives don't use the word politically correct any longer. They use the word woke because somebody might point out that they are trying to be incorrect. Willingly, intentionally. They want to be incorrect. They don't like that whole correctness thing.
Rip out the politics.
Says the man who is a politician. He was appointed by a politician. He was confirmed by politicians. Every single president that we have ever had and ever will have are politicians doing political things. Every single damn thing that the president tells you to do is politics. You cannot separate the directions of a president from politics. That's fucking stupid. Conservatives don't know what the word politics means, but they hate it. They just put it in front of other terms, and all of a sudden they hate the thing. Maybe we should turn this around on them. Maybe we throw the word political in front of a few things they like. Those are political guns. Those are political ICE agents. You know, all of a sudden they're like, whoa, wait a minute. They're political guns. I don't like political guns. What's a political gun? I don't like that. What's a political ICE agent? I don't like that at all. Donald Trump, the political president. They might turn on him.
Political Christian?
Political Christian.
Work?
Yeah, exactly.
Would just encourage them.
No, they'd run from that shit. No, if you started calling a conservative person a political Christian, they would be like, ick, yuck, I hate that idea. What is that? I don't want to be a part of it.
The response would just be, why do you have to make everything political?
Yeah, maybe. I suppose maybe they've already defeated me and my plan here. Call it a political Christian. They'd be like, oh, gross. But why do you have to make everything political, Waldo? Yeah, I guess you're right. They've already defeated me on this thing. I've come to an old argument that has already been settled and defeated.
The Christian nationalists would eat it up.
Well, they don't want to be political. They don't think that they are political. They think that they are common sense. They are normal. They are correct. They are the way everybody ought to be. And so they don't think that they're being political. It's the same joke that I've made forever. There are two kinds of marriage, straight and political. There are two genders, male and political. There are two races, white and political. So if you're anything other than those things, you're some sort of politics, okay? I don't need your politics all up in here. Says this crazy political guy.
No more identity months. DEI offices.
No more DEI offices.
Dudes in dresses.
No more dudes in dresses.
No more climate change worship. No more division, distraction, or gender delusions.
Okay, I know I've been stopping a lot, but climate change worship. Boss, climate change might change the entire world. It might ruin global agriculture, wreck entire economies,
I like
literally
dresses.
reshape the geography. Climate change might redraw maps, move national borders. And when those things happen, people go to war. You are.
Worship is so disingenuous.
I know it is. They're not worshiping it. They're trying to get ahead of the problem. They know these nations' borders will move when climate change, if climate change harms somebody. It will reshape the map. And when the maps get reshaped, people take their guns and go to war with other countries. And the fucking people in charge of the military should know that. And they do. But this guy, as usual, as all fucking conservatives are paid to pretend climate change isn't real.
No more debris.
No more debris.
As I said before,
no more.
And we'll say again,
No
we
more.
are done with that shit.
No more degeneracy, he says.
I've made it my mission to uproot the obvious distractions that made us less capable and less lethal. That said, the War Department requires the next step. Underneath the woke garbage is a deeper problem, and a more important problem that we are fixing and fixing fast. Common sense is back at the White House, so making the necessary changes
Common sense is a feeling.
actually pretty straightforward. President Trump expects it. And the litmus test for these changes,
Someday being a flat
pretty
earther
simple.
will be the official government stance.
I want
Might
my
be.
eldest son, who is 15 years old, eventually joining the types of formations that we are currently wielding. If
Would I want my 16-year-old son to go into your military, Mr. Hegseth? No. Your platoon would be filled with roided-out 19-year-old white nationalists. So no, I would not like my kid to go work at Pete Hegseth's war crime factory.
If in any way the answer to that is no, or even yes, but, then we're doing something wrong. Because my son is no more important than any other American citizen who dons the cloth of our nation. He is no more important than your son. All precious souls made in the image and likeness of God. Every parent deserves to know that their son or their daughter that joins our ranks is entering exactly the kind of unit that the Secretary of War would want his son to join. Think of it as the golden rule test. Jesus said, do unto others that's what you would have done unto yourself. It's the ultimate simplifying test of truth.
That's assuming they're exactly like you, Pete. The golden rule is nice and fine, but white Christians use it wrong. They want everybody to be treated like they are. Would you allow somebody else to wear their Jewish yarmulke? And he would say no.
Jerk me off the golden rule.
Because he doesn't want to wear one. He doesn't want to wear one. Pete Hegseth doesn't, on a daily basis, wear a yarmulke. So you don't get to.
I watch a minute of ads, Waldo. You're welcome.
I appreciate that, Sayla. You are literally keeping me afloat. Out of the poorhouse. Thank you. You know, you could skip the ads if you become a subscriber on Twitch. And then I get that money rather than Twitch. Just saying. But
Ooh,
yes.
that's a good idea.
Yeah, exactly. And it even makes a funny frog
Come
sound.
on, make the frogs gay.
You turn a frog gay. Every time you do it, you turn a frog gay. What the hell was I talking about? Yeah. I don't remember.
The new War Department golden
I have a
rule
Yamaka wearing
is this.
coworker in my office who is a Yuge fan of Trump, Hegseth, etc.
Well, they might not get to wear it anymore. They won't get that freedom. Well, if they're in the military, of course. But sometimes there are military members who would like to do that, and they ask for that religious exemption and stuff like that. And because he doesn't wear one, the golden rule from his position is, I don't wear a yarmulke, so you don't get to. I have to shave, so you have to as well.
Do unto your unit as you would have done unto your own child's unit.
Yeah, exactly. Not make them wear a yarmulke.
Serving with fat or unfit or undertrained troops, or alongside people who can't meet basic standards, or in a unit where standards were lowered so certain types of troops could make it in a unit where leaders were promoted for reasons other than merit, performance, and warfighting.
When he says merit, he means white
No,
men.
It's hell no. This means at the War Department, first and foremost, we must restore a ruthless,
Way to bastardize the golden rule.
and
I
common
know.
sense application of standards. I don't want my son serving
KB
alongside
Pond
troops without a
Twitch
shake.
just subscribed. Thank you for subscribing at KB Pond Twitch for 1 month.
KBP just turned the frog.
Thanks
I'm proud
for
of
the
you.
Tier 1 subscription, KB Pon Twitch.
KBP on Twitch. I'm proud of you. You just turned the frog gay. And if you give me a bit, the new I got a new voice for if you donate a bit. I don't know if you have any.
KB Pon Twitch lost their mind and just cheered 1 bit. At KB Pon Twitch, thank you for the 1 bit. KB Pon Twitch just cheered 1 bit.
I have to turn the lady off, but because you couldn't hear it, I have to turn her off. Okay, I have to fix that. I haven't tested it. I didn't know that she would overwrite the thing, but it was the FBI guy saying that if you read this, you are gay. LMAO. Because I think it's funny. I will silence that woman. Yes, she is a robot though, so it's okay. Shit, I'm glad we tested that out, though. Thank you for helping me test it, KBP.
Or in combat unit with females who can't meet the same combat arms physical standards as men. Or troops who are not fully proficient on their assigned weapons, platform, or task. Or under a leader who was the first, but not the best. Standards must be uniform, gender neutral, and high.
See, if the first woman to be a general in a certain position, she clearly couldn't have earned it. She couldn't possibly have merit, you see. She was chosen specifically so that they could be the first. It's horseshit. It's nonsense. It doesn't make any sense. About 85% of the troops
Does Waldo cosmology imply robots can't be political? No feelings.
It depends on the level of the robot, I suppose. I have not met a robot with feelings, so they are simply tools at the moment. Sorry. A screwdriver also doesn't have politics. And neither technically does the gun. Guns are tools. They don't have politics. The people holding them do. The people holding the thing. Yet. Yeah, maybe next.
Political screwdriver.
Political screwdriver. See? I'm telling you, man.
If guns are political, so are robots.
Well, they're not.
Robots are political because the people who build them are.
Well, the political screwdriver. I think I could talk some people out of not using a screwdriver.
Political screwdriver sounds like an amazing drink, also with a terrible aftertaste.
It costs $7,000.
A political hammer visited the Pelosi's a while back.
Yeah. Well, a political person with a non-political hammer. But yeah, you could probably talk some Republicans out of doing things.
Where we're going, we don't care about the taste.
Absolutely.
If not, they're not standards.
Oh, yeah, okay. So only 85% of the troops are combat troops. He knows this, but he doesn't care. I'll rant about that at the end. But he wants to remake the entire military.
They're just suggestions. Suggestions that get our sons and daughters killed. When it comes to combat arms units, and there are many different stripes across our joint force, the era of politically correct, overly sensitive,
There's that word again.
Anyone's feelings leadership ends right now. At every level, either you can meet the standard, either you can do the job, either you are disciplined, fit, and trained, or you are out. And that's why today, at my direction, and this is the first of 10 Department of War directives that are arriving at your commands as we speak and in your inbox. Today, at my direction, each service will ensure that every requirement for every combat MOS, for every designated combat arms position, returns to the highest male standard only. Because this job is life or death.
Male standard only. Only 17% of the military is women, and very few of them are in combat roles. So is he saying only for the combat roles? Yes. But he's going to play both sides of the issue, just like we've already seen him do a couple of times. He's going to play both sides. He's going to say, I only set this for combat roles. And then when women get kicked out of the non-combat roles for not being able to do the male standards, he's going to say, well, they could be. All roles in the military are combat roles. This is not a problem. This is not actually a problem. This has already been taken care of. The military already prevents people from getting into these combat roles if they can't handle it. He just needs conservatives to feel like the ladies aren't being given special treatment. They factually aren't being given special treatment, but he needs you to feel like they're being excluded so that you can feel better about the manly men saving your country. So you can boldly watch the 300 movie and beat off, right? Like, this guy watches 300 and just wanks it, right? Like, I know he does. I know he does.
Before Trump, the act did not have a combat, non-combat distinction. Women could be in combat roles while only doing 5 push-ups.
Before the AFT, no, because it was like the 2014 when they said that women were allowed in combat roles, and then they created a test for them. 10 past 11. Hi, how you doing? Thanks for coming in. We're watching this guy.
Standards must be met. And not just met, at every level we should seek to exceed the standard, to push the envelope, to compete. It's common sense and core to who we are.
Common sense is a feeling.
They still had to pass basic, my dude.
Today at my direction, we are also adding a combat field test for combat arms units that must be executable in any environment at
2014
any
it was
time
still
and
the
with combat
ACFT,
equipment.
which was push-ups, sit-ups, and run. Did not have combat, non-combat distinction. To pass basic, women had to meet women's standards.
Okay, and that is probably fine. The problem, I can't, the news is not littered with stories of dead soldiers who couldn't be carried by the lady in the unit.
These tests, they'll look familiar. They'll resemble the Army Expert Physical Fitness Assessment or the Marine Corps Combat Fitness Test. I'm also directing that warfighters in combat jobs execute their service fitness test at a gender-neutral, age-normed male standard scored above 70%. It all starts with physical fitness and appearance.
We haven't missed any nerd shit yet.
Secretary of
10
War
past
needs
11.
regular, hard PT. So can every member of our joint force. Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops.
Gender-neutral
Likewise, it's
male
completely
standard?
unacceptable to see
What?
fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon.
It's a gender-neutral male standard. Yeah, it's because I told you, dude. There's only 2 genders: male and political. That's it. It's all there are. And he's doing it. He's unironically doing the thing that Waldo jokes about. The generals don't have to be physically fit. They don't need to run fast. They're directing people from a chair. He does know that. But in his weird little fevered brain, he thinks that all military operations are just running toward enemy positions with guns blazing. That's the entire military's job. That's the only thing that they do. They run
There is fit or
towards.
fired.
Yeah, exactly. They already have those standards. It's already been figured out. They already
Grunts
do the
don't
standards.
like fat generals telling them what to do.
I agree, but they do it anyway, and the generals are not on the field. They already have those standards figured out amongst themselves, and they decided that the PT test was unnecessary for people in certain jobs. But the military is not allowed to make their own decisions about what's most effective. This dumbass gets to choose. Oops, wrong button.
Gone. And leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look. It is bad, and it's not who we are. So whether you're an airborne ranger or a chairborne ranger, a brand new private or a 4-star general, you need to meet the height and weight standards and pass your PT test.
They already do.
And as the chairman said, yes, there is no PT test. But today, at my direction, every member of the joint force at every rank is required to take a PT test twice a year, as well as meet height and weight requirements twice a year, every year of service. Also today, at my direction, every warrior across our joint force is required to do PT every duty day. Should be common sense. I mean, most units do that already, but we're codifying it. And we're not talking like hot yoga and stretching.
None of that gay shit. None of that weak-kneed gay shit. No hot yoga or stretching. God, this fucking guy. This is the guy that goes into the gym and just pumps his arms and he skips leg day every single time, and then like gets a new max on bench press, and then never does calisthenics, never does footwork, never does aerobics. And what's wrong with yoga? It's gay shit, according to this fucking chud. 10 past 11. I'm sorry. We're on a 72-hour mission where I'm supposed to get my hot yoga in.
Getting sweaty and bulk next to the homies ain't gay.
I know, right? I'm telling you, dude, this guy rents, well, he owns a DVD of 300, and he just wanks to it all the time. That and Predator. Predator's pretty good for that, too.
Real hard PT, either as a unit or as an individual. At every level, from the Joint Chiefs to everyone in this room to the youngest private, leaders set the standard. And so many of you do this already. Active, Guard, and Reserve. This also means grooming standards. No more beards, long hair, superficial individual expression. We're going to cut our hair, shave our beards, and adhere to standards. Because it's like the broken windows theory of policing. It's like when you let the small stuff go, the big stuff eventually goes. So you have.
This is an indirect attack against black troops, probably. Often black service members do not have to shave every day, as their skin can actually develop folliculitis. This is a medical condition diagnosed by a medical officer, logged in a medical record, and special permission is granted. Do some of them abuse that? Yes. Is it worth it? Yes. But to a white nationalist like Pete, he just sees someone getting special privileges he doesn't get, and he whines about it. Rarely, some Muslim people do enter the military, and they'll claim a religious reason not to shave their beard too. So they now have to make a choice, comply or leave, because that's what Pete wants. Is it possible some of them are gaming the system? Yes. Is it possible that they're lying about their religious preferences and stuff like that to get some sort of benefit? Maybe. But if they're doing the job, it doesn't matter.
Have to address the small stuff. This is on duty.
And broken windows policing, that was proven not to be effective. Sociologists have determined that doesn't help.
Unfair to not be allowed to say the N-word adjacent.
I know, right?
Duty in the field and in the rear. If you want a beard, you can join Special Forces. If not, then shave. We don't have a military full of Nordic pagans, but unfortunately we have had...
Nordic pagans is how the white guys sneak by this whole thing to not shave. The brothers got it when they go to the doctor and say, "Hey, I got the itchies when I shave too often," and so the white guys had to come up with their own version, and so they're Nordic pagans, and so they can't shave their beard for religious reasons. They're lying probably, but it gets them out of it. How does Special Forces get a pass on beards? Because they're spies, 10 past 11. They sneak into other places and pretend not to be military. They have to blend in and pretend not to be a military person. So they wear civilian clothes and they hide and they sneak about. Because you can, once you know what you're looking for.
To not stand out like a shaved white guy.
Yeah. The military haircut, the military mustache. Once you know what to look for with a military mustache, you'll pick them out of the fucking crowd, easy peasy. I walk down the street and I'm like, oh, military mustache right there.
Leaders who either refuse to call BS and enforce standards, or leaders who felt like they were not allowed to enforce standards. Both are unacceptable. And that's why today, at my direction, the era of unprofessional appearance is over. No more beardos.
No more beardos.
The era of rampant and ridiculous shaving profiles is done. Simply put, if you do not meet the male-level physical standards for combat positions, cannot pass
I'll
a
need to
PT test,
report
or
to
don't want
Mr.
shave and look
Hegseth that the
professional,
enemy within is
time for a
recognizing our
position.
mustaches.
Let him know. I
Pete's
see the
just
mustaches.
Mad he can't grow a beard.
It comes in all patchy. Yeah, let Mr. Hegseth know I'm on to the mustache.
This
game.
gathering is so dumb.
Absolutely. Terrible idea.
Or a new profession. I sincerely
Comply or get out, he says.
appreciate the proactive efforts the secretaries have already taken in some of those areas, service secretaries. And these directives are intended to simply accelerate those efforts. On the topic of standards, allow me a few words to talk about toxic leaders. Upholding and demanding high standards is not toxic.
Toxic.
Enforcing high standards, not toxic leadership.
He's so mad.
Leading warfighters toward the goals of high, gender-neutral, and uncompromising standards in order to forge a cohesive, formidable, and lethal Department of War is not toxic.
He's so angry.
It is our duty, consistent with our constitutional oath.
Yes, it's at 125, Malcedian. Sorry. I wanted to get through it fast because it's kind of long. But toxic. He's fighting a morality war here. He hates that the left invented this term, toxic masculinity. It offends him. And he has severe feelings about the term toxic masculinity because he is one. And they described toxic masculinity, and it described him perfectly when he looked up the definition. And that made him sad. That made him mad. He didn't like that. But he's a conservative, so his feelings are not actually feelings. They're common sense and not actually feelings.
Real toxic leadership is endangering subordinates with low standards. Real toxic leadership is promoting people based on immutable characteristics or quotas. instead of based on merit. Real toxic leadership is promoting destructive ideologies that are an anathema to the Constitution and the laws of nature and nature's God, as Thomas Jefferson wrote in the Declaration of Independence.
Common sense and the nature of nature's God. That's like your feelings, bro. Your feelings, they're everywhere. They're all over. He's spewing feelings out. This is why I say that all politics are based on feelings. This guy has feels all day long.
The definition of toxic has been turned upside down.
No, it's right on.
Today, at my direction, we're undertaking a full review of the department's definitions of so-called toxic leadership.
And they're going to rewrite all the definitions. It'll be great. I feel like this ensures that Trump and Hegseth could never do a coup. There's one thing 4- and 5-star generals love. It's having someone who never reached the rank of a captain calling them all halfway across the world once the bitch about the warrior culture. I think you're right, but I don't know. How effective were they at purging before this meeting? Because they have been firing motherfuckers at that Pentagon all the past 9 months. How many of them did they get rid of? How many of them could they have gotten rid of? I can't wait to get to feeling. Yeah. All right. So yeah, how many did they get rid of? How many
They've
did they
only gotten
dump
less
yet?
effective over time, and I don't think they were purging their 5-star generals.
Well, they fired a few people.
Good to know that they're throwing out hazing altogether.
No, hazing is coming back, bro. It's about to come
There
back.
are 0 5-stars.
Bullying and hazing to empower leaders
there are no 5
without
stars.
fear of retribution or second guessing. Of course, you can't do like nasty bullying and hazing. We're talking about words like bullying and hazing and toxic. They've been weaponized and bastardized inside our formations, undercutting commanders and NCOs. No more.
The words bullying and hazing have been weaponized. Pete, bullying is a weapon of exclusion. Hazing is a weapon of conformity. These stupid lefties weaponized the word gun. Bro, guns are weapons. You can't weaponize the word gun. It's already weaponized. You can't weaponize the word bullying. It's already a weapon. Jesus.
Setting, achieving, and maintaining high standards is what you all do.
You can't say
And if
things
that makes
that
me
are
toxic,
true.
then so be it.
Oh, never mind. It's just
Second.
4 stars then.
Today,
Yeah.
in our direction, we're ensuring that every service, every unit, every schoolhouse, and every form of professional military education conduct an immediate review of their standards. Now, we've done this in many places already, but today it goes across the entire Department of War.
When we go to war
Any
with
place where
Russia,
tried
we'll
and
get a
true
5
physical
star.
standards were
There you
altered,
go.
especially since 2015
It'll
when
be
combat arms
it'll be Trump. Oh, Trump will come out there with as the 5-star general. Oh, he will. It's the only thing that he's missing on Umberto Eco's fascist checklist is the military garb. Is the only
At
thing he's
Zealous
missing.
770 on the side of Russia, he'll be the 3rd 6 star.
Trump
and the
will come
5th
out.
star will be gold, not brass.
And he'll have the 78 medals like old Gaddafi used to do. Remember Gaddafi used to wear 97 medals across his chest and then just so many ribbons and he was dripped the fuck out. When Trump gets to that point, can we please... He'll have fit into literally every one of Umberto
Trump
Eco's.
will have medals on his belt.
He'll have medals on his belt. It'll be everywhere. Oh, I wait for that day. It's coming up sooner every day.
standards were changed to ensure females could qualify must be returned to their original standard.
Original
Other
standard.
standards have been manipulated to hit racial quotas as well, which is just as unacceptable.
Sorry, ladies. You're out. Merit is just for white men.
This too must end. Merit only. The president talks about it all the
Merit
time.
only.
Merit-based.
White men only.
Here are 2 basic frameworks I urge you to pursue in this process. Standards I call, my staff's heard all about them, the 1990 test and the E6 test.
1990.
The 1990s test is simple. What were the military standards in 1990? And if they have changed, tell me why. Was it a necessary change based on the evolving landscape of combat? Or was the change due to a softening, weakening, or gender-based pursuit of other priorities? 1990 seems to be as good a place to start as any.
A good a place to start as any. No reasoning, no rhyme, no logistical thing. It just feels good to him. He feels like the 90s were way more manly, you know? The 90s are in the past. Conservatism is a backward-facing ideology. I say it all the time, and they keep proving it correct.
He's trying to roll back the clock on culture.
Absolutely. They are a backward-facing ideology.
And the E6 test. Ask yourself, does what you're doing make the leadership,
Can we admit that
accountability,
sometimes
and lethality
politics
efforts
has
of an
impacted
E6
military
or frankly an
effectiveness?
O3?
Or has
Does it
every
make it
change only
easier?
enhanced our ability to defend?
Well, every change changes everything. Some of them are positive, some of them are negative. You can't say 80s, can you? I don't think so. There was a whole lot of... the 80s was tail hook. That was there was a lot of sexual assault in the Navy in the 80s. But yeah, some politics, it negatively impacts the military, and some of it positively impacts it. It's determining
These
which
were
one's
pretty
which.
gay too.
Or more complicated? Does the change empower staff sergeants, petty officers, and tech sergeants to get back to basics? The answer should be a resounding yes.
80s.
The E6 test or O3 test clarifies a lot, and it clarifies quickly. Because war does not care if you're a man or a woman. Neither does the enemy. Nor does the weight of your rucksack, the size of an artillery round, or the body weight of a casualty on the battlefield who must be carried. This, and I want to be very clear about this.
The ladies can't carry the dead, dying, bleeding corpses. So they have to be gone. They cannot be allowed.
This is not about preventing women from serving. We very much value the impact of female troops. Our female officers and NCOs are the absolute best in the world.
Hegseth is a bit too army-focused. The Navy exists too.
He does not know that. And it's purely accidentally preventing the women from serving. Completely unintentional. He did not mean it to do that. But if it happens, it is what it is. You know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. 10% of the military jobs are combat jobs, 10 to 15. The other 85 to 90% aren't. And he will take, this is the foot in the door. This is the camel putting his nose under the tent. It's an old Arabic saying, if you let the camel have his nose under the tent, then after about 10 minutes, his head is under the tent. And then after about an hour, his neck is under the tent. And then before you know it, there's a camel in your tent. Okay? You can't let him get the fucking nose in. When you see the nose, you bop it. When you see this guy putting his full foot in the door, saying that all the people have to, only the combat roles have to do all this physical stuff, he wants all of them. He wants all the women out.
But when it comes to any job that requires physical power to perform in combat, those physical standards must be high and gender neutral. If women can make it, excellent. If not, it is what it is. If that means no women qualify for some combat jobs, so be it.
So be it.
That is not the intent.
Yeah,
it could be the result.
It could be the result. I mean, not
It
doing
will
it on
also mean that
purpose,
we
but if it
need at least
accidentally
men to
happens,
qualify, because we're not playing games.
it is what it
This
is.
combat. This is life
We're
or death.
still waiting to see if
As we
Department
all
of
know,
War
this
is
is
real
you
or
versus an
not.
enemy hell-bent on killing
All the
you.
government shutdown
To be an
memos
effective,
used
lethal
war.
fighting force,
well, I think they officially changed it. I mean, they officially changed it. I'm on board for it. I think it's a good idea. It's far more realistic.
you must trust that the warrior alongside you in battle is capable, truly physically capable of doing what is necessary under fire. You know this is the only standard you would want for your kids and for your grandkids. Apply the War Department Golden Rule, the 1990 test, and the E6 test, and it's really hard to go wrong. Third,
It
we are
used to
attacking and
originally be
ending the
called the
walking on
Department of
eggshells
War.
and zero
I never
defect-
thought this would be the administration to de-euphemize it.
Well, it was war back when we were a younger country. Then we changed it to defense in the 50s or something like that because it sounds nicer. And the people don't like war. People don't like it. I don't know if you've ever been, but it's not pleasant.
I'll believe he cares about the standards when failing the PT test prevents you from deploying.
I probably wouldn't. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But if it starts to hurt retention, I think he'll back off of it.
command culture. A risk-averse culture means officers execute not to lose instead of to win. A risk-averse culture means NCOs are not empowered to enforce standards. Commanders and NCOs don't take necessary risks or make tough adjustments for fear of rocking the boat or making mistakes. A blemish-free record is what peacetime leaders covet the most, which is the worst of all incentives. We, as senior leaders, need to end the poisonous culture of risk aversion and empower our NCOs at all levels to enforce standards. Truth be told, for the most part, we don't need new standards. We just need to reestablish a culture where enforcing standards is possible.
Oh, I thought the change to war was permanent. Okay.
I'm issuing new policies that will overhaul the IG, EO, and MEO processes.
Those are abbreviations, but that's the inspectors. The EO is the Equal Opportunity program that is supposed to protect military personnel and employees from discrimination from the race and the religion and gender and disability and stuff like that. It's supposed to be something to protect you, but he's going to get rid of that. He's going to overhaul it. He's going to make it go away because he wants you to say the N-word again. It's okay, guys. You get to say the N-word again.
I call it the no more walking on eggshells policy. We are liberating commanders and NCOs. We are liberating you.
No more getting in trouble for racism.
Overhauling an inspector general process, the IG, that has been weaponized, putting complainers, poor performers in the driver's seat. We're doing the same with the equal opportunity and military equal opportunity policies, the EO and MEO at our department.
No more complaints.
No more frivolous complaints.
No more frivolous complaints.
No more anonymous complaints. No more repeat complainants. No more smearing reputations. No more endless waiting. No more legal limbo. No more sidetracking careers. No more walking on eggshells.
No more complaints about the racism or the sexism. No more complaints.
Of course, being a racist has been illegal in our formation since 1948. The same goes for sexual
harassment.
harassment.
These military members under this revamp will get used to this style of life, and it will transfer over to civilian life.
The military members under the revamp will get used to this style of life. Yeah, probably. 10 past 11, you're having a good old time anyway. I'm glad you can. Fridge, you're right. Higgs, that sounds like a fallacy that every fascist country falls into, and ideologies, born ultra-nationalism, yeah. Glorification of the military, yeah, he fits all of the boxes. Willpower, manliness, that's right.
I'm a fan
Machismo.
of the legal limbo and waiting going away.
And that's fine, except those are necessary. A proper legal discovery and shit like that might take time. I'm okay with them going away, but they're not going to go away. They're only going to go away because they're going to stop investigating.
Enforced. But telling someone to shave or get a haircut or to get in shape or to fix their uniform or to show up on time or to work hard, that's exactly the kind of discrimination we want.
That's not what people are making the complaints about, boss. They're making the complaints about sexual assault. And how are you going to know? Without the complaint process and without the investigations, how are you going to know everything's fine? Oh, you're just going to imagine everything's fine.
We are not civilians.
You're going to pretend.
You are not civilians. You are set apart for a distinct purpose. So we, as a department, need to stop acting and thinking like civilians and get back to basics and put the power back in the hands of commanders and NCOs. Commanders and NCOs who make life and death decisions. Commanders and NCOs
10% of the time.
And ensure readiness. Commanders and NCOs who, in this War Department, have to look in the mirror and they have to pass the golden rule test. My kids, your kids, America's sons and daughters. So I urge you all here today and those watching, take this guidance and run with it. The core of this speech is the 10 directives we're announcing.
Okay, yeah, Zayla's right. The EEO and the EEO aren't the sexual complaint line. SARC is the whatever
Higgs,
that's
it
called.
seems
Okay.
like the kind of guy who will want to replace all military planes with the A-10.
He's going to replace all the military planes with troops of people running on the ground with M1 Garands, you know.
Today. They were written for you, for Army leadership, for Navy leadership, for Marine Corps leadership.
We should
for Air
replace
Force
almost
leadership,
all
Space Force
military
leadership.
planes
These
with A-10s
directives are
except the
designed to take the monkey
C-130s.
off your back and put you, the leadership, back in the driver's seat. Move out with urgency because we have your back. I have your
It's
back.
got the biggest
and the
gun.
Commander-in-Chief
It
has
goes
your
burr.
back.
Clearly, it's the greatest.
And when we give you this guidance, we know mistakes will be made.
Mistakes will be made. Okay.
You should not pay for earnest mistakes for your entire career. And that's why today, at my direction, we're making changes to the retention of adverse information on personnel records that will allow leaders with
At
forgivable,
Zealous
earnest, or minor
770
infractions
exactly.
to not be
I
encumbered
bet you
by
he
those
thinks
infractions
this
in perpetuity.
unironically.
People make honest mistakes, and our mistakes should not define an entire career.
Your mistakes should not define an entire career. Last week, FBI agents were fired because 5 years ago they kneeled with BLM protesters. But that mistake should ruin their career. That action, even though it was not a mistake, cost them their careers. So what's Pete talking about here? He's talking about sexual harassment charges, usually, I think. That's what I think he is, or unsubstantiated charges. He thinks military promotion should not be stopped just because the soldier might have raped another soldier a few years ago. Not a big deal. Or commanders who had a bunch of sexual assaults under their command should not be punished for it. They didn't do the assaulting, so why should they pay any price?
Otherwise, we only try not to make mistakes, and that's not the business we're in. We need risk takers and aggressive leaders and a culture that supports you. Fourth, at the War Department, promotions across the Joint
You
Force
don't know anyone
will be
that
based
did
on
some
one thing:
silly Batman shit
merit.
at a port call?
Colorblind, gender neutral,
I
merit-based.
might know somebody
the
like
entire promotion
that,
process, including evaluations of warfighting capabilities,
but it didn't ruin his career.
is being thoroughly re-examined. We've already done a lot in this area, but more changes are coming soon. We'll promote top-performing officers and NCOs faster and get rid of poor performers more quickly. Evaluations, education, and field exercises will become real evaluations, not box checks, for every one of us at every level. These same reforms happened before World War II as well. General George Marshall and Secretary of War Henry Stimson did the same thing. And we won a world war because of it. As it happens, when he started the job, Chairman Kane gave me a frame and a photo to hang in my office. A matching frame and photo hangs in his. It's a photo of Marshall and Stimson preparing for World War II. Those two leaders famously kept the door open between their offices for the entirety of the war.
I'm sort of
They
impressed.
worked together,
Where are his
civilian and
teleprompters?
uniform, every single day.
They're out behind the
Chairman
cameras.
Kane and I do the same.
They're like right
There's
here.
no daylight between us. Our
I
doors
think.
are always open.
I thought I saw
Our
him
job
when
together
he,
is to ensure our
the
military
camera backed out.
is
No,
led
it's right
to the
there.
very
I see it.
best, ready to answer the nation's call.
They're clear.
Fifth, as you have seen,
There's one right
and
there.
the media has obsessed over, I have fired a number of senior officers since taking over. The previous chairman, other members of the Joint Chiefs, combatant commanders, and other commanders.
Well, I assume that there's more in front of him, but he planned to walk around, I think. I mean, if he's doing this all off the top of his head, fine. I'm impressed.
Rationale, for me, has been straightforward. It's nearly impossible to change a culture with the same people who helped
Those
create
are behind
or even
him,
benefited
to
from that
Zella's
culture.
point.
Even
There
if
are
that
likely
culture was
more.
created by a previous president and previous secretary. My approach has been simple. When in doubt, assess the situation, follow your gut, and if it's the best for the military, make a change.
Follow your gut. So, his feelings. It can't be any more obvious than that. All politics are based on feelings. They keep proving me correct.
We all serve at the pleasure of the president every single day.
When in doubt, assess
But
the
in many ways,
situation.
it's not
Pause,
their fault.
please. I need to write this down.
And then use your gut, Zayla, in that order. Pause, assess, use your gut. Use those feelings that are deep in your stomach.
It's not your fault.
Pag?
As foolish and reckless as the woke department was, those officers were following elected political leadership. An entire generation of generals and admirals were told that they must parrot the insane fallacy that, quote, our diversity is our strength.
He hates that saying, diversity is our strength, because it makes him feel icky. It makes him feel uncomfortable because he might get stuck sitting next to a person who's not exactly like him. He might be in a unit with somebody who's different from him. He hates that. He doesn't like that. Unity is the strength.
Of course, we know our unity is our strength.
Because he
I
wants
just want
everyone.
to live in a homogeny.
Yeah, he wants that homogeny. He needs everybody to be the same. He wants you to look the same. He wants you to act the same. He wants you to think the same. He wants you to believe the same so that he feels comfortable. You see? This isn't about feelings. This isn't about politics. It's about common sense.
They had to put out dizzying DEI and LGBTQI plus statements. They were told females and males are the same thing. Or that males who think they're female.
There's a dog right here. I have to grab him. I know I'm interrupting, but it's a Bobo with a baby bark boy break.
I put my cinnamon twists down somewhere. I don't know where they went. I think you're talking to your
We love you, Bobo. Pubby.
It's Bobo, the baby bark boy. Hello, Bobo.
Look
Big
at
yawn.
this
Look at that. He's been
Bobo
playing a lot
time.
today. He's got this little toy that has a motor in it, and it spins around. It looks like a squirrel's tail hanging off of it, and so it rolls around on the ground. It's got a little squirrel tail, and he just goes nuts. He just goes crazy, just shaking and attacking it. It's a whole thing. So he is exhausted right now. He's actually quite
Good
tired.
boy.
So he's probably going to sleep on the couch. We'll put him on his little bed. See the little pink blanket right here, little blanket? This is his bed.
EP Boye.
And if you go over to the Discord, there's there's lots of photos of him. I put photos of him up all the time. And you can put photos of your own doggy if you're in the Discord. It's in chat, but it's not on screen. I turned that off so it wouldn't speak over anything. But I got to fix my little things here.
He's also talking about what a peak human is. Frighteningly akin to supremacy. No diversity, male standard, rules that discriminate against non-white service members.
Yep. Because he's the apex. He thinks that he is perfect and everyone who is like him
Waldo,
is 100%.
why haven't you changed your logo yet?
Which logo? That one? Because I forget how, maybe. Oh, with the Harry Dubois, because I might have lost it in the hard drive crash. When my hard drive crashed, I lost a lot of stuff a couple weeks ago. But then I was going to change some things, and you posted it up again. So maybe I will. But it's hard to do stuff. Stuff is hard.
Females, totally normal.
At Malcidian and
They were told that we
Ubermensch,
need a
if you
green
will.
fleet and a female. They were told females and males are the same thing.
No, they weren't. No one has ever said that. No one has ever implied that.
Or that males who think they're females is totally normal.
It is totally normal if you let it be normal. If you want to scream bloody murder every time you see a trans person, you can. I don't think that's a good idea or a great way to live. Sounds like a dumb idea. Sounds like a bad time, if you ask me. But treat them equally, equal treatment. It's all
They
they've
were
ever
told that we
asked
need
for.
A green fleet and electric tanks.
A green fleet and electric tanks, wouldn't that make the world a better place? If they work, if they don't work, fine, don't do them. But put somebody on inventing them. Jesus Christ, why is this guy afraid of progress?
Told to kick out Americans who refused an emergency vaccine. They followed civilian policies set by foolish and reckless political leaders.
Never played in
Our
Command
job,
and Conquer, huh?
My job has been to determine which leaders simply did what they must to answer the prerogatives of civilian leadership, and which leaders are truly invested in the woke department, and therefore incapable of embracing the War Department and executing new lawful orders. That's it.
See, that's what he had to suss them out. He had to figure out who was part of the woke department and who was begrudgingly, unhappily, grumpily, sadly doing the woke department stuff because even though they didn't want to. So he felt them out and he decided which ones were part of the woke department and had to be tossed.
It's that simple.
Simple.
So for the past 8 months, we've gotten a good look under the hood of our officer corps. We've done our best to thoroughly assess the human terrain. We've had to make trade-offs and some difficult decisions. It's more of an art than a science. We have been and will continue to be judicious, but also expeditious. The new compass heading is clear. Out with the Shirellis, the Mackenzies, and the Millies, and in with the Stockdales, the Schwarzkopfs, and the Pattons.
Again, backward-facing ideology. Don't do anything that the new people did. Do what the old folks did.
More leadership changes will be made, of that I'm certain. Not because we want to, but because we must. Once again, this is life and death. The sooner we have the right people, the sooner we can advance the right policies. Personnel is policy. But I look out at this group.
When our military
and I see
represents
great
the people they defend, the
Leaders who have
military
given
has a greater
decades
stake in that
to our
defense.
great
I think that's a good point.
At great sacrifice to yourselves and to your families. But if the words I'm speaking today are making your heart sink, then you should do the honorable thing and resign. We would thank you for your service. But I suspect
Comply
No.
or leave.
the overwhelming majority of you feel the opposite. These words make your hearts full. You love the War Department
I
because
mean,
you
it
love what you do,
sounds
the profession
good,
of arms.
but making it back home
You are
is a more
hereby
relevant
liberated
driver.
to be an apolitical, hard-charging, no-nonsense,
White
constitutional
Christian
leader that you joined the military to be. We need you locked in on the M. Not the D, the E, or the I, not the DEI or the DIE of dime. By that I mean the M, military, of the instruments of national power.
Lol.
We have entire departments of
You don't need to be paying attention to the
Get
economy.
locked in on the D.
Get locked in on the D. Get locked in on the M, not the D.
Locked in on the D.
This is what I'm telling you. He watches 300 and he beats it. I'm telling you. But yeah, don't worry about the economy. Don't look at the intel. Don't look at the diplomatic stuff. No. You do the M, and that is all. You run toward the enemy with your gun. That is what he wants for you.
across the government dedicated to diplomatic, informational, and economic
Hegseth
lines
watches
of effort.
300
We do
and
the
he's
M.
locked in on the
Nobody
D.
else
Absolutely.
does. And our GoFos need to master it in every domain and every scenario. No more distractions, no more political ideologies, no more debris. Now, of course, we're going to disagree at times.
No more
We would
degeneracy.
not be Americans if we didn't. Being a leader in a large organization like ours means having frank conversations and differences of opinion. You will win some arguments, and you will lose some arguments. But when civilian leaders issue lawful orders, we execute. We are professionals in the profession of arms. Our
Profession
entire
of
constitutional
arms.
system is predicated
It's so
on
weird.
this understanding. Now, it seems like a small thing, but it's not. This includes as well the behavior of our troops online. To that end, I want to thank and recognize the services for their new proactive social media policies.
I mean,
Use
that is
them.
what we call it.
Anonymous,
You learn it in
online or
basic.
keyboard complaining is not worthy of a warrior. It's cowardice, masquerading as conscience. Anonymous unit levels.
What, dime or beating it to the 300 movie?
Social media pages that trash commanders, demoralize troops, and undermine
Profession
unit
of
cohesion
arms.
must not.
Oh, okay. I'd never heard it. Okay.
Again, O3s, E6s. Sixth, we must train and we must maintain. Any moment that we are not training on our mission or maintaining our equipment is a moment we are less prepared for preventing or winning the next war. That is why today, at my direction, we are drastically reducing the ridiculous amount of mandatory training that individuals and units must execute. We've already ended the most egregious. Now we're giving you back real time. Less power.
Most of that training, a lot of that training is unnecessary. I agree. The military records training and the
Less training?
less mandatory training. Mandatory training in the military sense means you sit down in a computer and you watch a PowerPoint about how not to rape people. Now, for lots
He's more
of people,
talking to military folks than he is civilians. Less bullshit annual training.
yeah. I still think the sexual assault training is important, but he's getting rid of the woke trainings, the woke training about how to treat people not racistly. He's going to get rid of
Yes. Every
yeah.
year I need to watch an hour thing to learn not to rape people.
Yeah, absolutely. And the issue is, and I don't even know how effective that training is. 99% of the people aren't going to do that anyway. Okay.
I figured he'd be against that training. I thought he'd say he'd cut back on physical training.
No. Just the learning kind. He doesn't like you to learn stuff. Train to do more push-ups and run faster. Yes. Train to be smarter. No. And I can recognize that if it's about government records having to be kept for 7 years, worthless. I get it. But 99% of the people who watch the sexual assault training don't need it. And the 1% who do need it ignore it or don't think that it applies to them because they have a fucked up brain that tells them they're not doing the
He's
sexual
talking
assault.
about the training that tells you not to laugh at the guy with a handicap.
That's what he's talking about. Absolutely.
We're not training you to think. We're training you to shoot.
Right. He KVP's got it. He's talking about the mandatory training that tells you how to treat people better and how to not be racist and how to do DEI things.
PowerPoint briefings and fewer online courses,
Fewer
more
online
time in the motor
courses.
pool, and more time on the range.
More time on the range.
Our job is to make sure you have the money.
Like 80% of the military doesn't even use weapons.
Good point. The people who want it
often.
don't need it, and the people who don't want it won't listen.
So I don't know if it does any good.
Equipment, weapons, and parts to train and maintain, and then you take it from there. You all know this because it's common sense. The tougher and the higher the standards in our units, the higher the retention rates in those units. Warriors want to be challenged. Troops want to be tested. When you don't train and you don't maintain, you demoralize. And that's when our best people decide to take their talents to the civilian world.
What? The higher the standards, the more people you have?
Want to be challenged. Troops want the higher the retention rates in those units.
The higher the standards, the more people you'll have. But, boss, if you raise the standards, there will be fewer people below the standards.
No, he means the higher the standards, the less likely people are to quit.
Are to quit? No, they won't be able to do it.
He's saying the more people you keep.
No, he's talking about I think he's talking about raising the standards. Hang on. Maybe I'm misunderstanding what he's saying here.
Our job is to make sure you have the money, equipment,
Retention
weapons, and
is
parts
keeping.
to train and maintain, and then you take it from there. You all know this because it's
Retention
common sense.
means the people that get in will stay in.
Yeah, and if it's harder to stay in because he raised the standards, fewer people will make those standards.
And the higher the standards in our units, the higher the retention rates in those
There's a
units.
paradoxical relationship. You don't want your mechanics feeling that 23/40ths is okay for shooting.
Okay, and if all of them were at that, if 50% of them were at that, and they could not get any better because they didn't have time or they just couldn't do any better, I mean, would not that lead to people being booted out for not making the standards? The higher the standards, the fewer people make it. I can't.
That's why he wants more range time.
That's why he needs the more range time. That's why you have to stop taking the gay training. Okay. But, I mean, let's think about that logically. The higher the standard, the fewer people will meet it. If the standard is a 4-minute mile, I'm not making that standard. I'm just not. And there are most people won't ever make that standard. So there are very few people who can. And if you raised the standard to a 355
not everyone
mile,
meets the standard of a ranger.
I know, I agree. Nobody, and they are different
yes,
as well.
That's true. But some people also leave because the army is a joke 23/40ths. That's barely above 50%. Russia is more serious. Ultimately, it's Hegseth just thinking that morale is absolutely everything and all else is secondary. After all, everyone knows willpower wins wars, right? Not guns or anything.
Okay, so I think he's wrong here. I think he is suggesting that we raise the standards and more people will stick around, and I can't agree with that. If you raise the grade requirement, people will fall short. Should those people be out? Maybe. But it's not going to keep your retention rates up.
Warriors want to be challenged. Troops want to be tested. When you don't train and you don't maintain, you demoralize. And that's when our best people decide to take their talents to the civilian world.
And that's what Zayla would be suggesting, that they think it's a joke and they're demoralized and they leave. Okay, I can't agree to that.
The leaders who created the woke department have already driven out too many hard chargers. We reverse that trend right now. There is no world in which high-intensity war exists without pain, agony, and human tragedy. We are in a dangerous line of work. You are in a dangerous line of work. We may lose good people. But let no warrior cry out from the grave, if only I had been properly trained. We will not lose warfighters because we failed to train or equip them or resource them. Shame on us if we do. Train like your warriors' lives depend on it.
Nice pivot saying
Because they do.
you.
To that point, basic training is being restored to what it should be. Scary, tough, and disciplined. We're empowering drill sergeants to instill healthy fear in new recruits, ensuring that future warfighters are forged. Yes, they can shark attack, they can toss bunks, they can swear, and yes, they can put their hands on recruits.
Put their hands on the recruits. I'm sure that'll be fine. That nothing will go wrong. Nothing will go wrong. I'm sure it'll be fine.
I mean, they can be reckless or violate the law, but they can use tried and true methods to motivate new recruits, to make them
Grab
the
them
warriors
right by
they
the
need to be.
I
private.
know, right? Grab those privates. Nothing could possibly go wrong in this situation, boss. I recognize what you're saying, Zayla. If they went to become a helicopter pilot and they got stuck cleaning latrines all day, that would be unpleasant and they would not want to stick around. But if I wanted to go to summer camp and they were just doing knitting, I would have a bad time and I wouldn't want to go there, sure. But that's not raising the knitting standards. Pumping out 17 scarves instead of 12 wouldn't want me to stick around any harder.
Back to basics at basic as well. Of course, and you know this basic training is not where mission readiness should end. The nature of the evolving threat environment demands that everyone in every job must be ready to join the fight if needed. A core credo of the Marine Corps is every Marine a rifleman. It means that everyone, regardless of MOS, is proficient enough to engage an enemy threat at sea, in the air, or in a so-called rear area. We need to ensure that every member of our uniformed military maintains baseline proficiency in basic combat skills, especially because the next war, like the last, will likely not have a rear area.
There you go. See, there is no rear area, you guys. This is him playing both sides again. One, all of these really tough things that he's talking about are only for the frontline troops, which are only 10%. But, hey, guess what? There is no rear area, and there are no non-frontline troops, so all of them have to meet it.
He wants
Finally,
the USA to have a sword behind
President
every
Trump
blade
rightly
of
pointed
grass.
out when he changed the department name, the United States has not won a major theater war since the name was changed to the Department of Defense in 1947.
Any of the troops could be frontline troops at any moment. And that's why we had to kick out all the women and the transes and the black people. He's playing both sides of the argument, and that is crazy. It's a conservative tactic. If I criticize him for the actions that he and his conservative defenders will claim that they were only talking about those frontline troops, and if these changes won't affect the cyber security division or the electronics repair team or the helicopter maintenance teams, and then later he will apply them as they all have the potential to be frontline troops. So it does apply. He's playing both sides.
Conflict stands out in stark contrast. The Gulf War. Why? Well, there's a number of reasons, but it was a limited mission with overwhelming force and a clear end state. But why did we execute and win the Gulf War the way we did in 1991? There's two overwhelming reasons.
You hear that drone
was
guy
President
recruited
Ronald
from
Reagan's military
COD for your
buildup
inhuman
gave an overwhelming
K-D
advantage.
ratio.
And
You're out.
Yeah, that guy's out. He's too fat and he smokes too much weed.
two, military and Pentagon leadership had previous formative battlefield experiences. The men who led this department during the Gulf War were mostly combat veterans of the Vietnam War. They said never again to mission creep or nebulous end states. The same holds true today.
The mission creep and the nebulous end states are set by the politicians. They're set by you, Mr. Hegseth. If you don't set them, great, I agree with you. But that's not the military's choice. If the politicians say go slow, go door to door, and fight insurgents in Iraq, that's what they're going to do. Just tell the politicians to stop setting those conditions.
Our civilian and military leadership is chock full of veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan who say never again to nation building and nebulous end states. This clear-eyed view, all the way in the White House, combined with President Trump's military buildup, postures us for future victories if, and we will, and when we embrace the War Department. And we must. We are preparing every day. We have to be prepared for war, not for defense.
I really
We're training
can't see
warriors, not
Hegseth as
defenders.
a conniving
We fight wars to
politician.
win, not to defend.
He's a salty, bitter, retired soldier.
I think you're right. And that's why I don't think this is conniving. I think this is him misunderstanding everything because he wants to play Call of Duty.
Defense is something you do all the time. It's inherently reactionary and can lead to overuse,
He's a
overreach,
fucking
and
Fox
mission
News
creep.
host.
War is something you do sparingly, on our own terms, and with clear aims. We fight to win. We unleash overwhelming and punishing violence on the enemy.
Violence.
We
As
also
I
don't fight with
said,
stupid
this
rules of
does
engagement.
nothing but ensure the generals hate him.
I think you're right.
We untie the hands of our warfighters to intimidate, demoralize, hunt, and kill the enemies of our country.
War crimes, baby. Fuck
No more
yeah.
politically correct and overbearing rules of engagement.
No more of those pissy
Just
ass
common
laws.
sense, maximum lethality, and authority for warfighters.
Let's kill some
That's all I ever
motherfuckers.
wanted as a platoon leader.
We don't fight to
And it's all my-
survive, defend, or protect. We fight to win.
We fight to kill. We fight to destroy the enemy. His own troops, I looked for it, but I couldn't find it, were complaining about him that he was too bloodthirsty. This is a very old story. I looked for it earlier today, but I couldn't find it.
my E6 squad leaders ever wanted. Back to that
Maximum
E6.
lethality
We
and
let our
authority for
leaders fight their
warfighters. What
formations.
is this, the Mongol horde?
Yeah, exactly.
He is using totally normal army speak lol.
If he is,
He
I'm
wants
unfamiliar.
so badly to be Genghis.
And then we have their back. It's very simple, yet incredibly powerful.
We also call the Army grunts.
A few months ago, I was at the White House when President Trump announced his Liberation Day for America's trade policy. It was a landmark day. Well, today is another Liberation Day. The liberation of America's warriors, in name, in deed, and in authorities.
Liberation of the warriors in their authority.
Even I use the term maximize lethality. I use it for the 11 bang bangs so they know I mean efficiency.
And that's why we would call you a grunt, and that's fine. We don't want the grunts making the decisions. They're not the ones to make the decisions. I appreciate the grunts. I love the people who run real fast and carry the guns into the combat. I can't do it. I'm glad they can. But they don't get to set policy. I'm sorry.
You kill people and break things for a living.
You
You're
kill
not politically
people
correct.
and break
The
things for a
liberation of
living.
America's warriors, in name, in deed, and in authorities. You kill people and break things for a living. You are not politically correct and don't necessarily belong always in polite society.
Every single person in this room is more qualified for his position.
Yes, they are. I agree. So you break things and you kill people. That's your job. And he wants more people to do that job. He doesn't want all these wieners sitting in chairs, driving drones and flying planes. Bleh.
We are not an army of one. We are a joint force of millions of selfless Americans. We are warriors. We are purpose-built, not for fair weather, blue skies, or calm seas. We were built to load up in
He's
the back
talking
of
from a
helicopters,
position of,
5
we're
tons,
tired of
or
nation
Zodiacs
building.
in the dead of night.
You call us when you
In
want
fair
stuff
weather or
broke or
foul,
killed.
to go to dangerous places, to find those who would do our nation harm, and deliver justice on behalf of the American people in close and brutal combat if necessary.
Justice. The nation building. The nation building is supposed to be for diplomacy, but we don't have any of that because we keep getting a completely wild ass shift from left to right every 4 years or so. Well, we get a wild ass shift from center to right every 4 years. So I take that back. I apologize. We're tired of nation building. Well, that's what the politicians have asked you to do. I'm sorry. That's why they became more woke.
Such a joke. Trump's trying to pick a fight with the entire world.
Yes, he is. The reason they had the military had to nation build in Iraq and Afghanistan is because the politicians told them to. And that's why they became more woke. That's why they became more adept at understanding the economy
Yes,
and
our
the diplomacy.
nation-building efforts have sucked because we asked our professional killers to do it. Generals are terrible at nation-building.
I agree with you, Zayla. And we should get a diplomacy. We should get diplomacy involved. We should maybe make a big deal with our enemy, like the Iran deal.
Well, yeah, they kill things and break shit.
And then we get a Republican who shits on all the diplomacy.
You are different. We fight not because we hate what's in front of us. We fight because we love what's behind us.
Stole that from Star Wars.
You see, the Ivy League faculty lounges will never understand us, and that's okay. Because they could never do what you do.
The Ivy League... What did he say? The Ivy League...
Never understand. We fight because we love what's behind us. You see, the Ivy League faculty lounges will never understand.
The Ivy League faculty lounges will never understand. Motherfucker, you're standing in front of the generals. They all went to West Point, which is a fucking college. Bro, everybody in the room is far more educated than you are. Everybody in the room is more educated than you are, Mr. Pete.
Neither
Hegseth.
Ivy League or faculty.
It's still a college, boss. It's still a college. They're fucking
Ivy
intellectuals.
League staffers don't know what a PT test is like. That's what he's saying.
The people at West Point are intellectuals, my man. They read books.
Didn't he graduate from Princeton? XD.
I don't know. It's one of those fucking you can just buy one of those diplomas.
Generals get at least a master's degree and usually a PhD.
He's talking to a bunch of PhDs right now. He's talking to them.
He's not criticizing the generals that went to good colleges. He's criticizing woke, non-military types.
He doesn't know what he's
They don't
criticizing.
get that
He's
at
too
West
dumb.
Point. They go to other colleges.
They go to other colleges. That's even more amazing that they've been in the faculty room. They recognize what academia is. He's insulting academia in front of a bunch of motherfuckers who hold PhDs.
And that's okay. Because they could never do what you do. The media will mischaracterize us, and that's okay. Because deep down they know the reason they can do what they do is you. In this profession, you feel comfortable inside the violence so that our citizens can live peacefully. Lethality is our calling card, and victory our only acceptable end state. In closing, a few weeks ago, at our monthly Pentagon Christian prayer service, I recited a commander's prayer.
He said a magic spell.
It's a simple yet meaningful prayer for wisdom for commanders and leaders.
He chanted the magic
I encourage
words.
you to look it up if you've never seen it. But the prayer, it ends like this.
And
And most of all, Lord, please keep my soldiers safe. Lead me.
he chanted the magic words. I'm going to call it there for him. The rest of this is nonsense. But what am I thinking? That's the end of his
He burned
his
a prayer
comments.
glyph before battle.
Yeah, he burned a glyph before battle. It's fantastic. That's the right thing to do, and we all appreciate him. Oops, wrong button. Okay, we can set your buttons right, Waldo. If you're in the military now, he does not want you to think. He does not want you educated. He doesn't want you well-read. He doesn't want a military that has studied history or has any idea what's going to come up tomorrow. What conflicts come up tomorrow are not your concern. He wants you to be a meat robot, jumping when he says jump, running when he says run, and shooting when he says shoot. He wants the military to be attack dogs. It is a very old joke, and I tell it all the time, but I still think it's funny. Republicans love the troops the way Michael Vick loves dogs. It's entirely, it's a very old joke. And that is all he wants. Any other job they need done, like mechanic or cooking or cybersecurity, that should be done by an outsourced private company. Okay, the military drone pilots should be replaced by Raytheon employees. The military airplane mechanics should be replaced by Boeing employees. The Secretary of War Crimes wants the military to have two jobs: run, shoot. That is all. The military, as it is now, will suffer under his leadership, but that's what he wants. He wants a lot of people to leave. He wants the people who have asked for religious accommodations to leave. He wants them out. He wants anyone who can possibly be sexually assaulted to be removed. He wants the women out unless they are so masculine and tough that they can't be sexually assaulted. Or, if they are, they won't file any complaints. And when we remember his goal, this all makes sense. He does not want thoughtful people making informed decisions. He wants mindless attack dogs. You are not there to learn. You are not there to earn a degree. You are not there to get real-world training for a future career. You are there to run to the troop carrier when he tells you to, run towards the enemy when he tells you to, and shoot the enemy he tells you to. But don't worry, next up we'll have Donald Trump, who is going to tell you who the enemy is. Surprise, it's Americans who disagree with him. Yeah, Stream Jedi is poking around in the background. He's playing PS1 games because I raised him properly, you see. And that's Legend of Dragoon. It's a PS1 RPG that came out just after Final Fantasy VII. So and it's very similar, it's a whole thing. So, anywho, so let's just watch just a little bit of the Trump parts. There's only one little bit that I really wanted to get to, and it's at 133. This is my favorite bit, 133. We're going to skip all the way up to here. Donnie comes out and he does his normal Donnie fucking campaign speech. It just happens naturally. It just falls out of him. It's as natural to him as breathing.
A year and a half ago, I was at the beginning stage of a campaign, and things came out that you couldn't get people to join the armed forces. And by the way, the police also. fire department. I always put the fire department in because they're great.
Fire department.
They're great. And I got 95% of their vote,
Screw
too.
in.
That helps. When you get 95% of their vote, you always have
Scream.
to mention them.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry. I suck at this. So he's talking about the fire department. This is insane, and I can't get enough of this.
But they're great. And they're brave in our inner cities, which we're going to be talking about, because it's a big part of war now.
The inner cities are a big part of war now. No, they're not. He's telling you where you're going next, General. He's telling you you're going to the inner cities of America next.
Big part of war. But the firemen go up in ladders, and you have people shooting at them while they're up in ladders. I don't even know if anybody heard that. And I said, don't talk about it much, but I think you have to. Our firemen are incredible. They're up in one of these ladders that goes way up to the sky, rescuing people, and you have animals shooting at them.
Animals shooting at the firemen at the top of the ladders. The fuck is he talking about? That's not happening. That's not real. This man is suffering from strokes. He has had a stroke in the recent past. I brought him back down to normal speed so you wouldn't get the benefit of 1.25. He is not okay. Okay? He is not doing well.
Shooting bullets at firemen that are way up in death territory. You fall off that ladder, it's over. It's over. They don't even have to
He's
inspect
probably
you.
talking about the firefighters that were shot at by Nazis in Oregon a month or so ago.
No, he's been making this thing for years, apparently. I Googled this because I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? Obviously, if they're shooting at the firemen on the ladders, we would have heard about that. The news would have picked that up. That's the kind of shit that leads on CNN. But I Googled it. He's said this like 5 or 6 times over the past 2 years. This wasn't a month ago. He said this in 24. This is just nonsense. It's madness. He is not healthy. Let me see. I know I Googled it. Where did you go? It was on the other. So the thing, Snopes, here we go. Analyzing Trump's claim that firefighters have been shot off ladders while fighting blazes. Found various examples of firefighters shot on duty, but no reports of being attacked shooting them off of ladders. And he's mentioned it like March 14th. That's like, okay, so March. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought it was 2024. I got it wrong. 2025, social media users shared a rumor that firefighters were shot off their ladders as they tried to put out blazes. U.S. President Donald Trump, the moron, mentioned such an instance in his speech while addressing the Justice Department on March 14th. He is not okay. This man is suffering. And at this point, this might be elder abuse. Okay, we might be abusing this man. I wish we could get him to a nice retirement home. He is suffering. He has had a stroke recently, and he is going to have more of them soon. Better than Kamala. No, literally not. Thanks, though.
Could we go
Keith
back
Parks.
and review the Biden footage? Wait.
We
There
could.
was an incident with first responders being ambushed and shot at in a hilly countryside not long ago.
Yeah, that was like a month ago, but they weren't like on a report. There was a neo-Nazi in Oregon who lit a fire, and then somebody came to put it out, and then he shot at them. But that's not an inner city thing. That's not happening in downtown Chicago the way he makes it out to be. So what are we going to do? We're going to close this. Broken Windows theory doesn't work. And then we're going to just watch a couple of the good clips. Good clips. We're going to skip that. This is what we wanted to see. Here we go. Hegseth told them all they were going to be fighting, and they can do war crimes now. And Donnie's telling you who they're going to fight them. Who they're going to be fighting, and that's the American people. Damn it. I just wanted to play the thing.
ones that are run by the radical left Democrats, what they've done to San Francisco, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, they're very unsafe places, and we're going to straighten them out one by one. And this is going to be a major part for some of the people in this room. That's a war, too. It's a war from within. Controlling the physical territory of our border is essential to national security.
He wants the military to be used against American citizens who disagree with him. This is not okay. This is authoritarian shit. Let's see. The quick reaction force. This is the other thing I wanted to click on.
We haven't even started yet. Last month I signed an executive order to provide training for quick reaction force that can help quell civil disturbances.
Quick reaction force of the military to quell civil disturbances. The civil disturbances that he will choose are the protests against him and his administration.
This is going to be a big thing for the people in this room because it's the enemy from within, and we have to handle it before it gets out of control. It won't get out of control. Once you're involved at all, they all joke. They say, oh, this is not good. And
you brought up Biden a minute ago, and he slurred and talked slowly one time during a debate, and we chased his ass out of there. This is absolutely dog shit, batshit crazy shit. He needs to be removed. He needs the people on the right to get rid of him, but they won't because they like it when he says the crazy shit. They like it when he goes off like this. Hell, third in line, Mike Johnson, Pastor Mike Johnson, didn't even see it. Let me bring that clip up. I liked it. Let's look at this. So I don't know who Madeline Dean is. I might look her up in a minute. But here is the third in line for presidency.
Bud, Trump is being held up purely by medication. He's dealing with secondary effects for sure.
I know. And they know it. They just need to get rid of him.
The president is unhinged. He is unwell. What are you doing? A lot of folks on your side are too. I don't control. Oh my God, please. That performance in front of the generals? That I didn't see it. Is so dangerous.
Scream.
You know I serve on Foreign Affairs and Appropriations. This is a collision of those two things. Our allies are looking elsewhere. Our enemies are laughing. I just left you have a president who is unwell.
He said two. Well, we'll watch it again and turn it into a better YouTube video since I suck at my job. I appreciate everybody who's here. Thank you very much.
The president is unhinged.
The president is unhinged.
He is unwell. What are you doing? A lot of folks on your side are too.
A lot of the folks on your side are too. So he knows, he's agreeing that the president is unhinged. He's unwell. So are the people on your side.
I don't control. Oh my God, please. That performance in front of the generals? That I didn't see it. Is so dangerous. You know I serve on Foreign Affairs and Appropriations. This is a collision of those two things. Our allies are looking elsewhere. Our enemies are laughing. I just left. You have a president who is unwell.
He doesn't care. He didn't even see it. You know, like I didn't watch the speech. I haven't seen the tweet. I haven't heard the clips. I don't even know Donald Trump. I've never met him. I don't know what he stands for. I've never even heard his name. Ronald Trump, you say? Is that his name? I've never heard of him, says the third in line to the fucking president. If you're the Speaker of the House, you watched what we just watched. You did. Why lie about it? He's giving
Listen to this
giant
woman
speech.
Speaking so genuinely, trying to cross the aisle.
Absolutely. And she's not looking at the camera. I think this is like one of those spontaneous accidental camera got left on kind of shits. She's not here grilling him. She's here talking to him like a normal human being. They didn't even recognize that the camera was still on, and we caught it. This is a hot mic moment of one human trying to tell you the fucking president is out of his goddamn mind. He's whacked out of his gourd. He's too goddamn old. He had a stroke a couple of weeks ago, and he is not doing well. And they need to use the 25th Amendment to get him out of there. When this happened to Biden, I was the first fucking one to tell him he's too old. I told him he was too old in 2016, but they went for it anyway. And then when he got really old, I suggested someone else. I wanted it to be someone other than Kamala, but that's fine. Kamala's fourth on the list or something, on my list anyway. This woman is trying to tell him Donald Trump is not well, and she is correct. Because we just watched him. We just watched him stumble around and piss and moan about firefighters being shot from the top of the fucking ladders. It's not happening. It's not real. Keith Perks, he's the only one making decisions. No, I don't think he's making any decisions, Keith. I don't think Trump is making any decisions. 70% of the country agrees with his policies. Right. 80% of all media is shit. 80% of the TV shows on TV are shit. They're bad. 80% of science. It's the what's that?
Are you telling me that things
rule?
are different than what I'm seeing on TV?
Are you telling me that things are different than what I'm seeing on TV? I did see that one too. He was talking to the mayor of Portland or something like that, and he was telling the mayor of Portland how Portland is on fire and being attacked and wiped off the map by disgusting gangs and violence and burned down as he's speaking to her. And she said, "No, that's not happening." And so he was shocked. He's like, "You're telling me that things are different than what I'm seeing on TV?" He's out of his goddamn mind. He doesn't know what's going on. He is not the one making decisions. I agree.
Trump 2.0 definitely feels less involved than 1.0. He always has plausible deniability when reports ask questions.
Yeah, they're showing
just showing him live videos and telling him they're live TV.
They just show him drawings of things or videos from like the Kosovo Civil War in the 90s and shit, and he'd be like, "Look, this is Portland right here. There it is. Yeah, look at that, Portland. It's amazing." So I did like this. This is from The Atlantic. It's a very left-leaning institution, I know, The Atlantic. But I read this and I liked it and I wanted to read it in my most official and important, buttery, smooth, amazing, cool voice. He complains, he gripes, he says that the stuff. Here we go. This guy completely has Pete's number right here. There is a certain kind of Army officer who, after excitement of company command, finds his career stalled, and who perhaps leaves the service as a major in the National Guard, filled with bitterness and resentment. He may then dream of one day being in a position to make all superior officers who failed to appreciate his leadership qualities, his insight, his sheer fitness stand to attention, and hear him lay down the law about what it is to be an officer, and threaten to fire those who do not meet his standards. In this respect, and in this respect only, on that stage, Pete Hegseth was living the dream. In all other aspects, however, he was ridiculous. While much of what he said was objectionable, working out and getting haircuts are good things after all, it was the kind of thing that a battalion commander might say to some scruffy lieutenants and sergeants. Indeed, Hegseth could not help himself, using "we" when he mentioned those in the service. The whole point of having a Secretary of Defense is that he or she is a civilian, first and foremost, not a soldier. Hegseth's examples, moreover, were drawn primarily from the only military things he knows firsthand. That is the kind of tactics, training, and maintenance that a captain in charge of 150 soldiers has to worry about. He's calling him unqualified. His dream world is the world of Ranger School, from which he never graduated, not the actual world of complex military operations involving land, air, sea, space, and cyberspace. One could not help but suspect that his time as a company-grade officer was the high point of a career of someone whose family life was ridden with multiple failures, whose attempts to run nonprofit organizations ran aground, and whose fame and wealth came from journalism, a profession he sincerely despises. He's stuck with what he knows and genuinely reveres. Unfortunately for the country, he seems unable to transcend it. This is a very highbrow beatdown. And what of the audience? They were there, for the most part, and entirely appropriately silent. Trump had been forewarned that there would be the case. Now he's just griping about Trump. What Hegseth apparently never learned in his previous life was that hectoring is not inspiration, that respect for one's subordinates' time, which he abused by bringing them together in this way, should go hand in hand with respect for their accomplishments, which he also abused by refusing to tell them why they were being called. He may have thought he was showing steely leadership by denouncing 3 distinguished retired 4-star generals, Peter Chiarelli, Frank McKenzie, and Mark Milley, by name. In fact, there were undoubtedly those present who had served under those men and valued them. And in any case, it was a loutish thing to do. But then again, there was plenty of the lout in Hegseth's speech. For example, the vulgarities would George C. Marshall, whom he praised, use the words in the speech to generals highly unlikely. Blah, 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 da, 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 da. So, and why I'm not too worried about it. Well, the thing that makes me not too worried, the American military will follow lawful orders and disobey unlawful ones. It will be grateful for weapons put in its hands and the freedom to prepare itself for war. It will be disciplined. It will respect the offices of the Secretary of Defense and the President. But the two men themselves, not much respect is due them as human beings who have, at this moment and in these ways, shown themselves unfit to lead the greatest military on earth, nor will they get any. So that's a very highbrow beatdown that guy just gave us from The Atlantic. Who wrote that? That was Elliot A. Cohen, very smart guy. So what he's saying is that the military will probably, hopefully, ignore the unlawful orders that Pete is about to give them and Donald Trump definitely wants to give them. Keith, communists and Islamic terrorists have teamed up taking over Western civilization. No, that's nonsense. So it's so clean when you look at the other news besides what is happening in America. That's not true. None of that is real. Secretary of War. Yeah, I mean, I'm on board with changing the name. It's much more realistic. Civilians don't act like that. Sorry. I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry. Illegal. Yeah, they will push out illegal orders. Not Christian. I mostly agree with this writer's take, but Hegseth is a massive improvement over Milley and Austin. They were fine, who were most eager to sell our troops for advisor jobs with the military-industrial complex. And entirely possible that they would do that. That wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't put it past them. How did they sell out the troops? How did Milley sell out the troops? He allowed trans people to serve, and that is the one cardinal sin that the conservatives hate more than anything else. That was elegant to listen to. I appreciate that. Thank you from Alcidian. I tried to put on my best voice. No, that's not real, Keith Perks. You
trying to
are
kick
filled.
me out over COVID was pretty shitty.
Well, did you refuse to take the shot? Because I took it, and I'm doing great. It didn't actually have a microchip from fucking Bill Gates in it. That was not a true statement, you see. And you were in the military. You'd had 100 shots before that.
Religious exemption.
Yeah. Did you have a religious exemption to the hepatitis A and the B shots that they gave you, or the flu shot that they gave you every year, or the MMR vaccines that they double checked you had? I know you had all those. Those weren't a religious exemption, only that one. The reason they didn't believe you is because that one came up out of nowhere.
I can share my packet. It address what you're saying.
Okay, and I accept the idea that there's going to be religious exemptions. Pete doesn't. Pete went on a fucking tirade about how he's getting rid of all the religious exemptions. He's not going to get rid of he's going to get rid of all the liberal exemptions. They tried to make me do
the PT test while sick with COVID.
Antifa is 100% domestic. That's nonsense, Keith. You live on a different planet. You need to get your media diet better. You got a bad diet. What else do we have to look at tonight? What time is it? It's 8:52. It's getting pretty late, but I think I got all the important stuff. Oh yeah, the government shutdown. I guess we could talk about that for a couple of minutes anyway. The government shutdown. Hooray! Every time Donnie's in charge, the government shuts down. You guys notice this? Have you noticed that when Donnie's in charge,
what if next Republican president decides to go one step further and re-euphemize the military, but the euphemisms are just worse than the actual word?
It's possible, which is why we shouldn't vote for Republicans. They're literally bad. They don't like you. They hate you. They want to make everything worse. And
call it the Department of Slaughter.
The Department of Slaughter. I might be okay with that, but I think that's a little too much. Stop being blind, says Keith. Yet I just listened to the man talk. He said a lot of wrong things.
I'm considering starting a political party where our only issue is one, lower budget, two, or else we shut down.
Well, you can't start a political party with only one idea, boss. It doesn't work. Even if you had a brand new idea, a new thing popped up. AI is a very good example. If you had only one thing to talk about, one position on AI, it would fall within the freedom versus prosperity dynamic of left versus right, the left being freedom, the right being prosperity. And people would choose which side of that issue they're on. Most humans are duality. They can only comprehend two things: the good, the bad, the evil, the holy, the white, the black, the left, the right, the red, the blue. They don't do shades of gray. Shades of gray is far more complicated for human beings to do. So they tend, especially in things they don't know or don't give too much shits about,
is
to
lower
not be on it.
budget or shutdown, is that prosperity or freedom?
If you're doing it for, lower the government budget, I would say that's probably more akin to prosperity. Why do you want the budget lowered? Because you want to pay fewer taxes? Yeah, you're on the right side, aren't you? You're under prosperity, aren't you? You want the American people to pay fewer taxes. I can appreciate that. I'm not saying that's a bad idea. I'm just saying it's under the prosperity right-wing side. I bet you have no kid. There's literally a child playing a video game right here. Boss, are you not paying attention? Keith, are you watching the stream? I don't think you are. You're not paying very good attention. Pay closer attention. Thank you.
I'm fine with taxes,
busting your balls,
but this
boss.
current model is unsustainable.
I think it is not a good system that we have either. I want a progressive tax system where a tax on profit, not tariffs. That's a dumbass way to do it. Tariffs are a tax on the wrong end of the fucking entire spectrum. Keith B. hate watching. That's okay. Hate watchers are still clickers. It's still a click. It's okay. I like it. I welcome the hate watching. Too bad we couldn't be on Kick tonight, or else I'd get some more crazies. Kick does have the best crazies. I'm the only truth teller you've ever heard, Keith. I'm the only person telling you the truth. And it's freaking you out. It's freaking you out, man. It's
better than a
freaking you out. So yeah, the government shutdown. Every time Donnie gets in charge, he shuts the government down because he likes it. He hates the government. He does not want the government to function. He doesn't want the government to do things. Conservatives want a smaller government. I've watched him a couple of times just to see how this structure works, but no, I haven't watched him in years. He is a leftist though, so that I appreciate, and that's why we would probably agree on a few things. Dems shut it down.
Remember,
no,
guys, for
boss.
every one of me, there are 100 Keiths.
I know, Zayla. I know. That's why I don't kick you out of the Discord. Because every one of you, there's 100 Keiths. Congress has a Republican majority, Keith. The House has a Republican majority. The Senate has a Republican majority. There is a Republican president. It's their shutdown. Donnie gets in charge, he shuts down the government because he hates it, and he's going to use it to fire people, which is part of the reason why they did it. Here's Mike Johnson telling you why he shut the government down.
President Trump has said, he could use this as an opportunity to further cut government and turn some of those temporary furloughs into permanent job cuts. Speaker,
this is why they did it.
Can you assess what you're expecting in terms of the job cuts and how severe they could be?
Yes, the president and I have talked about this at great length. While a shutdown is very damaging for real American people who depend upon government services, it can provide an opportunity to downsize the scope and the scale of government.
He wants to cut down on the government. Conservatives want a smaller government. They brag about it. They want a tiny little government. The thing that Reagan said, he wants a government small enough to drown in a bathtub. He wants a tiny little government. Because what they want instead is capital control. They want the companies to do all this work. Dems still control no, they literally don't, Keith. You're literally wrong. No, he's just using the Democrats' mistake for profit. Okay, so if he's profiting,
well,
and he's in charge,
half of conservatives secretly want more government.
Yeah, they do, in the ways they want it. They want to control lots of people, but they don't want the government to control them. They want the church to control them. They want society to control them. And they want the laws to force that society onto the people. But they don't think that's government, right? That's not government overreach. A government overreach is when the Biden says, okay, you guys can have your student loans forgiven. That's gigantic, monstrous, nightmare conservative government overreach. But when Donnie sends troops into Chicago, that's fine. That's just the thing. Nothing to worry about. Don't think about that. Don't look at that. Don't pay attention to that. That's not government overreach. when he cheers and says that he's going after late night TV show hosts. That's fine. That's just fine.
Even Jefferson couldn't recognize when he was going against his own system.
Okay. He's in control of the federal government, not state congressional. Keith, are you okay? I don't think you're okay, boss. You should watch more. That way I can educate you, explain to you what's going on. You can comprehend what's happening here. If we should go after the liars. Pastor Mike Johnson is one of those liars. He told you that he didn't watch the president give a fucking hour-long rambling insane speech to all the goddamn generals. He's lying. He did watch it. He knows exactly what the president said. He knows the president had a stroke a couple weeks ago. He's not telling you because he still thinks that most people like Donald Trump because they don't pay attention to him. They don't listen to him. And if they do, he puts them into a weird fucking trance that lulls their brains into beta waves, you know? It's I swear to God, he does the weave that he talks about. It's a trance thing. Like he doesn't know he's doing it. He's accidentally putting people into hypnosis, and then they think that they agree with him. It's insane. He says blatantly, obviously, completely untrue things. He misunderstands everything. He creates a delusion, and then he spreads fear to you. Those are his 3 steps. Misunderstand, delusion, fear. He misunderstands what happened with the firemen. He creates a delusion that animals are shooting firemen at the top of ladders, and he spreads that fear to you. He's the content president. Yes, and that's why you should not appreciate him. That's why you should ignore him. That's why we should not appreciate him. That's why we shouldn't have voted for him. It's why the military members should not vote for him again. They did last time, and they shouldn't. They shouldn't do that again. I fear for my kids turning trans. I know
liars,
you do.
Except maybe Ron Paul. Thomas Massey.
Thomas Massey has been doing, I do appreciate Thomas Massey. I do. He has been.
Keith just admitted Trump is a clown for our entertainment.
I know. I fear my kids turning trans. I know you do, Keith. They'll still be human. They'll still be fine. They will, if you don't ruin their lives, they'll still get to live as people. Trans people are people. A lot of conservatives don't know that. Yeah, I know. I know you do, Keith. You're so terrified of these things. You're so afraid. You have
Your
so
kids will
many
turn
feelings.
trans because of their own responsibility, not because of leftists.
All politics are based on feelings, Keith. Even yours. Your politics are based on feelings. You feel afraid for your children turning trans, and that you feel like there should only be 2 genders, and so you agree with them on everything else. You are controlled by your feelings. And the biggest lie the Republicans ever told you is that your positions are based on facts, not feelings. You've heard that one before, haven't you? Facts, not feelings. You told me you watched everything. That's the biggest lie they've ever told you, is that your positions are based on facts and not feelings. They're wrong. They're lying. They call it common sense. When you have feelings, and you don't want to call them feelings, you call them common sense. Terrorists are taking over 100%. No, that's nonsense. You're making that up. Or someone told you and you believed it. Mental illness is running rampant. No, it's not. It's the same as it's always been. You do not. Keith, honey, baby, you used the word fear like 2 seconds ago. You used the word fear. Nobody was talking about trans people. You brought it up. And now you're scared.
But
yes,
Waldo,
honey.
When I don't know politics, I assess, and I go with my gut.
Absolutely, Zayla. Good point. You don't know. You stop. You assess. You go with your gut. And that's what Keith has done. He stopped. He didn't know what trans were. And he went with his gut to be disgusted by them. I understand how that happened.
Keith can't take being emasculated.
I know, right? That's a feeling. And now he's feeling emasculated. See how this all comes out? See how it all comes back to feelings. All politics are based on feelings. They are not anything. I don't know what you're at now. besides mentally, no, they feel differently than you. And you feel uncomfortable with them. You feel disgust when you see them. You can learn. You can accept people who are different than you. You can. I know you can. All humans have that capability, and you should try. Tolerance is the key to society. But conservatives are anti-tolerance. They don't want people to tolerate the things they don't like. No, I know. Now you're feeling all kinds of complicated feelings. Nobody's ever told you this before. My politics are all based on feelings, Keith. I'm telling you, all the left is based on feelings. All of their politics. All of the people in the center.
Can we tolerate the Nazis?
Can we tolerate the Nazis? Not really, because they practice intolerance, Zayla. It's the paradox of tolerance. You can't tolerate the people who are and practicing, pushing, forcing intolerance, because then they will take over.
Back to reasoning I go.
Yeah, I know. Never accept unnatural illness. You're out of your mind, Keith. You're so afraid. You're terrified of this shit, man. Exactly why the left is wrong. No, I didn't get to finish because I get interrupted. Way to go, Zayla. The left is based on feelings. The center is based on feelings. The right is based on feelings. And nobody says it. I'm the only one telling you this. And it's disturbing to you because you've never heard it before. Listen for feelings words. Next time you told me you watch everything. So listen to the feelings words. Next time you're listening to a right-wing person, they will tell you their feelings. And they will base all of their politics on them. All of them. They go by feeling, not facts, and that's what is destroying us. The right is based on the facts. Nonsense, Keith. That is a gigantic lie that they told you. They lied to you. The right lied to you. Ben Shapiro lied to you when he told you Christian is based on facts. No, boss, that's a feeling too. Christians are 100% feelings. Yeah. And they're 100% feelings. The paradox of tolerance goes away when you look at tolerance not as a moral standard, but as a social contract. I agree with you. A social contract. Those who do not abide by the contract are not covered by it. And that is the position we have to take as leftists. We have to say, we cannot accept you being intolerant towards certain people. You're allowed to hold that thought in your head, but if you start spreading it and you start building policy about our society based on that intolerance, which is what the Republicans do with trans people, they're intolerant of them, and they want them to go away, they want them all to die, they want them all to hide the closet until there are no more. And if a new one is born tomorrow, then they're going to have to hide in the closet too. That's what they want. They're intolerant of them. And we cannot let them control our society. Ben Shapiro is Jewish and is not right. But, boss, you're out of your goddamn mind. I'm sorry, you're all over the fucking road here. Ben Shapiro is Jewish. Yes, he's not right. He's the darling of the right. He's the rightest right that ever righted. Oh, I'm upping your standards so that you can violently brief a room full of generals. Thank you. So you're keeping me on my toes. That is it for me tonight. It is 9:07. I went 7 whole minutes over, but Keith kept me we'll go in there. Please come back. Please go to the YouTube link and click on the thing. Watch some of my other videos. Watch all my live streams. They're in the live tab. You can see all of these, every one that I've made over the past couple of years, anytime you want. Then you can watch the video. I'm going to turn this stream into a smaller video where you can watch the whole thing. I'll cut out all the
reminds me of why
parts.
BLM started at Fridge Makara. A demographic of the USA feel as though the social contract is systemically broken.
This social contract is being broken, I think, right now by conservatives. They don't want to be a part of the social contract anymore. They want their society, their way. They have their own Hollywood. They have their own music genres. They have their own TV shows. They have their own kids shows now.
You should make a shirt, feelings don't care about your facts.
Maybe. I mean, all politics are based on feelings. Hope you find Jesus. I've already know everything there is to know about him. And he's fictional.